Foo Fighters. All my life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
Indeed.
Genius Karl Pilkington, as Heat magazine said.
Really? Is that what he's referred to now?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Genius. Saying about people tune in just to hear his games, such as Educating Ricky. Have you got some Educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Karl. I desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like a genius.
But then I don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So,
Steve.
you know, I don't want to be unfair.
Look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
Well, it was in the Einstein book, then it's presumably true.
Which Einstein book is that? His Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's for a coach trip, and you have to fill in, E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice, and you fill it. It's great. It's
Did his mum think, A, he was a genius, and B, mental?
Most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Karl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Great
as seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later. Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Karl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet Knee Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over the one for Holly Valance. Right?
Of course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
No, it wasn't.
And it was Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then Becky, who called up that time and said, oh, if you're getting mistaken with Pelmet, right, she sent me an email in a week saying, I've done a bit of research. It was my fault, I've made an error. It is a Valance.
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week at the very end, my auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this. And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington.
So...
I'm sick of seeing the magazines when I sit down.
So she put a Valance around the table.
She just got Valance around everything now.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly, she tapes it all. Because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that. So she tapes everything, so she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing. And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valance around that.
That's genius!
Yeah.
So, that is
or is it mental? Only Mrs. Einstein can tell.
I don't know. She's even made a little Jack Russell look like a hovercraft. It's great.
So everything's got a Valance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are she'll put a Valance around your head.
This is this is Auntie who?
Auntie Nora.
And this is the one that farted for 5 minutes. Lest our listeners forget. Farted for 5 minutes. Called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
She said about 2.5 minutes in.
She said I'm about 2.5 minutes into the fart.
My mum said, how long's it been going on for? And she said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And then it stopped.
She couldn't time it because there was a Valance over the clock.
Yeah,
because it used to annoy her when she was on the phone and you put her off seeing the time. She was guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise?
Just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, there you go.
That's fantastic. Well, we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't we?
Indeed, we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from, Karl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a little corporate. It was alright. He went, wait till you get out, you see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston. Right. It was, you know, it was nicer. I went outside and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
horse-drawn.
yeah, and so I walked, and it was okay, it was only down the road, it was a bit dark, it was wet and raining.
Obviously, it's the north.
I know, yeah. The hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world to see them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The picture was up, I don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive, big impressive. I think they're British Football Club, aren't they, Carl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room.
Oh,
there
well, I thought it was the stadium.
No, I'm not that big yet. No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city via poll.
True enough.
So, Carl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is, there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was alright. And then I said to him, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me, it sounds amazing.
So I need some soil, what do you think?
You need some what, soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So,
you need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I'm like, where you can't see these shops in London. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Carl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
You can't. There's earth, you can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Yeah, incredible.
Which
People
is-
just lean over into someone's front garden. No, you can take the plants as well.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move for 'em. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's all right, but if cities were sort of
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
Well,
isn't
there's barely any mulch available for it in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good, decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So, you know, I'm thinking of moving to the north, where there is loads of soil and gravel.
Indeed.
And animal shite.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, you were going to say if you're marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have.
Right.
as opposed to what?
Well, as opposed to...
How you spell it.
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right,
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What? Yeah. Why do you think that though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right? Like, you're going down Normal Street.
Go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah.
No, but it's like you're going down the road and then you turn a corner and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like, what's that doing there?
Yeah.
And just when you think there's no more, you turn another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? London,
Yeah.
what have we got? You know, Trafalgar Square's world known. And you go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q.
In Trafalgar Square.
To cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah.
And then I'd be happy, but what I'm saying
Well, with
is...
Nelson just popping up through the middle, because you could still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
B&Q, so B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing, and make it sort of grey, so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping
Make it
up...
classy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Stone clad it, so it looks like you've made an effort. And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson? Oh look at that, the victory, defeat. That's fantastic. One of the greatest living.
Yeah.
I need some nails.
Yeah. Perfect. Killing two birds with one stone, you say?
But why isn't there more than them shops? Because when I went into yours, every time I've been in there twice now. The first time was to get a shower head, right?
Right.
And I went in there, couldn't resist buying something else. I ended up getting some super glue as well.
Like me. Hey, big spender.
And then last Sunday we went in there, got 2 bags of soil, not one, I bought 2, and I bought some scissors to cut plants with.
Secateurs.
Well, you don't.
Scissors.
You never know when you want. You know, you might need more soil, I suppose.
Well, I've got
You've stocked that now. Where do you keep it under your bed?
Sorry, this isn't going out, is it, this conversation? It's not going out on air.
I got a feeling it might be.
You're joking. We better play a record.
Okay.
Play a classic. Hives.
That jingle, of course, signifies another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. We went to the park and had a brew. Suzanne read the paper while I played with a ladybird. I mean, it's like a child, isn't it? It's like what a child would do.
Suzanne read the paper while I played with the ladybird. His only friend is a beetle.
It climbed up my arm. It struggled on me hairs.
This is in detail, then?
Yeah. It kept stopping every now and then and was rubbing its head with its right arm. It did it about 4 times and always used its right arm. It rested for about 5 minutes, then flew off. Sunday. Had a bit of a to-do with Suzanne because she wanted a lion today. I ate this. Once you're awake, you should get up. I got up and put the radio on really loud. She eventually got up. I told her insects don't have lions, so we shouldn't.
Why are you obsessed with insects?
You must be fucking unbearable to live with. You must be a nightmare.
No, I've just started, because I've watched insects a lot, I don't want to keep going on about them, because we're a bit insect heavy. But at the end of the day, if we copied insects, we wouldn't go far wrong.
I don't know what you mean, though. 1 minute you're saying they're great, then the next minute you'll slag them off.
Yeah, I'll slag some of them off if I don't know what they're doing, but because I've studied them a bit longer, I just think they do.
You
it
haven't
right.
studied them, though.
He thinks he's like Darwin.
But you just slagged them off when you go, don't you think that insects are doing stuff? They're not. It goes there, then it goes back again.
The ant was messing about, but only that one. The others were carrying stuff. That's what I'm saying. These snidey ones in everything. In everything in the world, you get a hierarchy.
Oh, long words!
Ooh. Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts, it was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for £5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was...
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, oh, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert, and they said, oh, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird how stuff's being found on eBay.
No, it wasn't found on eBay, though, was it?
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... I mean, all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head, loves it, right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules, isn't it? It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow.
Woke up to some interesting news. It's good when this happens because it sets me up for the day ahead. If it's miserable news, it affects my day. It said on the news that they have found 2 new flies.
Fucking hell, more insects! What have you done? Is that all you've done this summer?
Bong. Trouble in the Middle East. Bong. 2 new flies found.
Ladybird climbs up arm.
They were found in the UK and they were found close to each other. Maybe this happened because they were different than the other flies and weren't expected to hang about together, so that's why they knocked about with each other.
That would happen, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
There's 2 new flies.
What do you mean? Does it mean there are 2 new flies that are a different species?
Yeah, 2 new species, and they found them close to each other, right?
Yeah,
and
but they didn't mean there was one of each.
No. Yeah, they did. They found 2 different ones.
No.
No, they have. Seriously, I know that. That's right. That's a fact. So you've got, like, I don't know the names of them. They give them odd names, don't they? Well, say
Yeah.
call it A and Fly B, right?
Yeah.
Fly A, I don't know. Say that's orange.
This is just...
B.
Lively, yeah.
No,
This is
but-
painful.
No, but
This
I'm
is
just making it
painful.
easy
But
for
5B
you.
wears a little hat. He's got a little
all
hat.
right, yeah, fine. Now, they found the orange one. I went, look at this over here. This is a bit weird. And they've gone, oh, that's a new species. Log it, whatever. And then the other one went, oh, keep your pen handy. Look at this one, it's got a hat on. So then they found them both within the same distance.
I don't know what that sentence means.
Keep going.
They found them both within the same distance.
But without interrupting him, let him finish this point.
Let me just make one thing clear. Karl Pilkington just said they found them both within the same distance. Think of that!
Don't know what it means, but go on, let him finish this point.
So So what I mean is, they weren't knocking about with other normal houseflies because they were probably sort of going, oh, he's a bit weird. Leave it. Yet, because the other one was also odd, they're hanging about with each other. Don't you understand that? Why is that such an odd concept?
Because you think of it as like two little new kids in school.
Yeah.
They find out they're both new and they've got something in common.
They're both goths, so they start hanging out together.
Yeah.
And this was on the news, was it?
Yeah, just on the radio, yeah.
I know if I looked into that story, it would be 90% wrong.
Bit tired today, because didn't get to sleep as early as I wanted due to a moth getting in the bedroom.
Fuck me!
I got it in a glass and looked at it for a bit and then let it go because Suzanne wanted to go to sleep. Looked up some interesting news. Some people dug up an old body in Ireland. Turns out it's well old and was here when dinosaurs were here. The really weird bit is it had hair gel in its hair.
Right, what is it?
A fella.
Well, no, it wasn't around when dinosaurs were here then.
Just a bit after.
Right, fine. A lot after, yeah, go on.
It's not the age bit, that's amazing. It's the fact of, there's a fella, won't have even had shoes on his feet,
Right.
and yet he was worried about his hairstyle.
Right, well, that's definitely not true either.
There was a man on the radio doing poetry, says Carl in his diary. I thought I'd have a go at doing a poem about today.
Not really. Steve, I'm a little bit queasy. He hasn't really written a poem.
He's written a small poem.
No, he hasn't really.
Yes. If moths had eyes...
Fuck me!
Let me read the poem, okay?
Oh, fuck.
You wouldn't interrupt T.S. Eliot.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
Right, it may be the greatest poem ever written.
Is there a creative decision for that?
Can we have Carl read that?
By all
Sorry,
means, yeah.
just you read it as you would like to. So this is, imagine this, right? Okay, this is going out all over the world. And now, Karl Pilkington, a new poet from Manchester, now living in London, England, would like to read a poem.
If moths had eyes, would they be happier? How do they know they're not dead? Cavemen hunting for food, but not before they style the hair on their head. What would last longer in dinosaur times? A blind man didn't stand a chance. Not with all them rocks about. I'd rather be a blind moth.
He said it as though the last bit was going to rhyme. He said it like it was going to rhyme. Oh, God.
No,
It's amazing.
I think he feels as though the final line, I'd rather be a blind moth, is going to be one of those great, you know, a summation that somehow the moth is a metaphor, the caveman...
No, but
there's
all
no
I'm
metaphor in that. He really does mean he'd rather be a blind moth.
Yeah, well, I'm just because I've looked at the day's news.
Are you getting into poetry now, properly?
I really like it, yeah. Right, I did 2 about jellyfish.
Excellent.
I don't like jellyfish. They're not a fish, they're just a blob. They don't have eyes, fins or scales like a cod. They float about blind, stinging people in the seas. And no one eats jellyfish with chips and mushy peas. Get rid of them. And then there's just a shorter one I did about a jellyfish. It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah, it certainly would.
So,
That's great. That's really good. Because it's jelly. He's done us there, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a really good poem. Can we always do that, Carl? Can we always find a day, right, and always sum it up in your thoughts, a poem, just like that? It would be spiteful to put jellyfish in a trifle.
Yeah.
What's been going on? What's been going on?
I've been to hospital. I was rushed to hospital, right, emergency and that. Had a tube put on my knob.
You had a tube put up your knob?
Yeah.
What's the story?
Kidney stones.
Ooh.
So, shouldn't really be here, to be honest, doing this. He said rest. And that. Climbing them stairs on the way in is
To be quite honest, it doesn't look like you're expending a lot of energy at the moment. It's like at Zookeeper going, oh, that sloth move today. Calm down.
Yeah, but I had to get here. It's been raining. I
Yeah.
had to come up the stairs. I had to carry the computer.
Yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true, because your girlfriend was carrying it. I saw her outside.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And then you handed it to me and said, Steve, carry this. So
Almighty.
Yeah, I know.
that's already a lie.
Christ almighty. Whinging.
Not whinging.
I'm in show business. I know loads of people that wake up every day with a sore knob, feeling like they've had their kidneys probed, and they will say they're unconscious. So they don't whinge about it. They get straight back onto it. They, a lot of them are on TV now.
Yeah, straight back to hosting game shows.
So you're rushed to hospital.
So take us through the events, because it does sound quite dramatic. You started feeling a bit of pain, did you, initially?
Felt a bit of pain, and I thought, yeah, maybe I just pulled a muscle or something when I've been wrestling with Ricky and that, because you don't know what damage has been done. So I just think, oh, it'll go in a minute, and then it didn't. It got a bit badder.
It got badder, did it?
So then I thought, I
Oh,
was crippled. I was lying on the floor in agony, looking on the internet, looking for sort of
Still looking at
solutions.
Monkey News.
I just put in like bellyache and stuff, and they were saying me loads of different things. And what I used to do when I was a kid, I used to always just get a cold ashtray and put that on my belly, and the coldness used to get rid of the badness.
Amazing.
The coldness got it.
It's like a witch doctor.
Yeah.
This is like
A witch doctor happens to work in a pub.
it's like some sort of 5th century remedy
Yeah.
written in mud. Coldness doth get away with the badness. Princess Superstar, Bad Babysitter, first played on this show by Steve Merchant, by Bad Steve Merchant.
That's true enough.
By Steve Scratch Merchant. I mean, I still like that, but the videos put me off it a little bit, because it's just, it makes it into the novelty record it always had the potential of being. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. Although I was never a big fan of Bad Babysitter was not my favourite from the album.
Sure. Sure.
If people want my interest and my views on hip hop, then they can always email in, Rick, of course.
Or call you at home.
Just give me a ring at home, it's no problem.
Yeah.
Or I just pop out and hang with them in the hood.
Yeah, sure.
so, yeah.
Now it's time for White Van Man.
White Van Man. Yes, for
explain what it is.
those that don't buy The Sun, they think it's beneath them. White Van Man is a column they have, I think, every day, actually, and they just get sort of some, Joe Public to kind of comment on the week's news. Just seems to me, that it might be interesting to get Carl's views on some of the big events.
Not because we think that Carl hasn't got a valid sort of viewpoint.
No.
Because Carl sees the world differently to some people, that's all, and that's what's interesting. Like an artist does, or a...
Exactly, yeah. He's very bohemian in his outlook.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're up to scratch on this week's news?
I don't like this bit.
Don't you?
Don't, just relax.
Why not?
It's pressure.
No, because you just have to give us your first opinion.
For your honest answer, that's all we've ever asked of you, Carl, and it's all you've ever given us. Your honest, your first from the heart view, yeah? Don't worry, just relax.
Just chill out.
Are you worried that people are listening and thinking you're an idiot?
If my girlfriend's listening now, go and have a wash or something.
Go and have a wash.
Not very nice, is it? Is it the opposite of Napoleon and Josephine? Yeah, go on. If you're going to visit me again, Josephine, for Christ's sake, wash.
Well, I'll ease you in with something fairly easy, a music-based question. Kylie Minogue versus Dido as Queen of the Brits. What's your view there?
Go and have a wash.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
What doesn't really matter?
With the Brits. I was watching it the other night, and I think Kylie will be a good-looking old woman. Do you ever do that sort of thing?
Steve, I want to celebrate with you. Every time he opens his mouth, I want us to open a bottle of champagne.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like we did that.
Yes.
No, do you do that though? Look at people, and another person who springs to mind, Jenny Powell. I don't think she's that good looking now.
Who's Jenny Powell? Is she that girl that used to be the assistant on Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah,
yeah. I think she's a bit over the top for a young woman, but when she gets older, I think she'll look.
Be a bit of a stunner. Okay. So for you, Kylie, whereas you don't feel that about Dido, is that right?
She's all right. She's normal. I prefer Kylie's sister to Kylie. She looks, I can imagine her being a hard work to live with, and
Who, Kylie?
not being washing up and that.
Right, sure.
Being a bit fussy.
Okay.
And what do you make of taxes rising in the next budget to pay for NHS improvements?
Well, my dad went to hospital to have an operation once.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's worth paying it because I've got something.
Because people might have to go to hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes a change when it's someone in your family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you sort of realise.
Yeah, a change is as good as a rest.
And the weird thing is, if it weren't for me dad, I wouldn't be here doing this show because when he was in hospital.
Well, no, I'll stop you there.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's all you need to know.
You wouldn't be here, true, but no. But
Well, no, because this was after I was born, so I would be here.
But for his more direct involvement was what?
Yeah, because when my mum was seeing my dad in the hospital, I got a bit bored, went for a wander, found the hospital radio station,
Yeah.
and got a gig.
Really?
So, in a real sense, if it wasn't for Carl's dad, Carl wouldn't be here.
And did your dad, like, while he was listening to you, did he, like, sort of tap the nurse and go, can you get that twat off the air?
Who's put him in that app?
Yeah. Okay, what do you make of the real-life Mowgli who's surviving in a Transylvanian countryside? Apparently, I don't know much about this story.
I don't know.
You know Mowgli, he's the guy from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The little kid that grew up with bears and animals and stuff. Apparently there's a real-life one in Transylvania.
What were the things in Gremlins?
What were the what? In Gremlins they were...
Wait. Okay, this is an example. This is what your girlfriend said. Think. What were the things in Gremlins called?
I can't remember.
Just, I mean, really.
Something like that, isn't it?
No, wait. Just really think now, Carl. Just with everything with all the brain power you've ever used, think what the things in Gremlins were called.
It's not there.
There's a clue here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're not.
What?
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Play a record, Carl.
Well, we're back, and there's a few more people here.
It's absolutely well done.
Yeah,
Well observed.
Yeah. Do you want to say hello?
Hi guys.
And what are you doing here?
This is Mark and James, or Sco and Belch, and we're here.
Sorry, your names are what?
Sorry, say the last bit again. Or what?
Sco and Belch.
Sco and Belch?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to explain that?
No.
No, from the
Long
drinking
story.
games, I imagine.
Yeah.
We've got
Oh.
worse names than that, but it's radio, so.
Sure.
Now, you're presumably we've we kind of graduated. We've been in work like about a year or two. And what do you do?
I work for a management consultancy. I work for a distribution company up in Birmingham.
Well, okay. Now, what you're doing is a scavenger hunt, and you're raising for a cancer charity.
Cancer research.
Right, and you've got to do, and this is, we're just helping you out here because for 17,000 points, you have to get live on a TV or radio show.
That's exactly it.
So here we are.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to XFM?
I know of it. Yeah. I listened to it a few times.
Sure. What kind of music, what kind of sounds would you normally be into?
I love cheesy radio, sort of school disco, sort of, 80s stuff.
Sure. Sorry, what was your name again?
Mark, or Sco.
Sco. Okay. And you're
Belch.
Belch. And what sort of sounds would you be grooving to, Belch?
Cheesy.
UK garage?
Well,
Craig David.
a bit of house just very occasionally, a bit of cheese. It depends what kind of mood I'm in, you know.
Now, you don't listen much, but I mean, kiss a celeb, because Carl...
Yeah, we actually want to do that with you, Ricky, is that right?
No.
That's not going to happen with Ricky, but Carl's now got his name mentioned in Heat magazine.
Is that right? Well, that's
If you want to
brilliant.
snog Carl, we'd love to see that.
I mean, we don't want to snog Carl, but I mean, we were thinking if there was kind of a female presenter here, we might be able to do something, but
What are you saying?
A female placenta?
well, if you've got one.
Have you seen some of the female presenters that work on XFM?
Oh, placenta!
Is that why they're on radio?
I thought you said placenta.
That's unlikely.
I know, well, now what's the other things you've got to do here?
So what are some of the things you've done already?
Well,
See, somebody's worrying me, like start a fire in Pudding Lane
oh, we've done that already.
for 4,700 points.
Well, I'll tell you what we have done. We've been on Phantom of the Opera stage already.
Have you?
Yeah, we just asked the stage door guy. And,
that wasn't during the show, I see.
and that's right. He actually mentioned that. Yeah, we shouldn't speak about that too. Otherwise he'll get sacked. But yeah, he was really kind to let us on.
We've jumped in Trafalgar Square water with doing a sort of Friends impersonation, so that was
Right.
How many points did you get for that?
We got 2,000 points for that. We got
Right.
8,000 points for being on the stage at Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And we get double that. We get like 18,000 points, which is almost the maximum for being here right now.
Really?
So that's
Yeah, well,
absolutely great.
Honestly, I wouldn't worry about the little things. I'd go for the big.
Yeah,
big
that's it.
bucks
We're
here.
not interested in the little stuff. We want to go for the big stuff.
Yeah.
So what were the big ones are, get on stage with S Club 7, that's not going to happen, is it? When have you got till 6 today?
Well,
Yeah.
S Club 7 are on at the London Arena at about 2 o'clock. So
Good luck.
Okay.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get on there. But we never know.
I think so, yeah. Get in the vaults of a bank.
Yeah,
You see, some of these are bordering on the illegal. That's 20,000 points for that. Like getting a cage at London Zoo. Don't do that. I mean, there's 10,000 points, but don't do it. Unless it's a penguin cage.
Well, that's what we were hoping. Just some kind of timid animal we might be alright with.
Yeah, sure.
If anyone's got any good ideas for sort of funky things to do on air, then
Okay, well if you leave your number and anyone calls in, they can help you then.
Well, maybe some of S Club 7 are listening.
Or because I mean, we love them to bits.
If they are, it is for charity, and the points get awarded into money for colon cancer research. So it'd be absolutely fantastic if we could.
Yeah, so Bradley, John, Tina, if you're listening.
Yeah, if you're listening. Or any celebrity out there who's a female celebrity, we need to snog them. It doesn't need to be a long snog, but if we can, that'd be great.
This is good for 7,000 points. This looks like a good one. Play the organ in a church. That must be easy.
Is that a metaphor?
Yeah, but you know what church people are like.
It says the bigger the better, so it might be.
That's got to be euphemism.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah. Well, thanks very much. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Get a
thank you very much.
standing outside Les Mis looking Miz.
That's going to happen.
That's good.
Man, a big gun type thing on HMS Belfast.
That won't
well, we've
happen.
got the big gun. It's just finding the boat, which is the problem.
Oh, calm down. What was your name? Bo?
No.
Po?
Let's go. Thanks very much.
Right, thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, bye. So, yeah, okay, right. Educated Ricky, number 3.
Ricky, yeah.
Well, we've got the emails in.
Yeah, people are they're finally trickling in. I think we're getting them.
People have got the full 3 right, but I mean, it's still worth emailing in because we never know who we're going to pick as a winner.
I'll tell you what, we've still got 50 minutes before we give the prize out, so let's give them again. Just give us a quick run there, because I think these are tantalising. They really are.
Yeah. So the first one, the fella has only got 1 badge left.
Yeah.
That's E. The second one, the unmarried lady is a friend to eat out with. MD. And the third one, I really, really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M.
Excellent.
Right. Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk. You can win all kinds of prizes.
Educating Ricky,
Right,
number 3.
Final one. You've had hippopotamus. You had chicken. You believe it. And the last one is I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
All right. Interesting one. This. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff, right? And another one that I came across, right? And I was going to use. I was a bit like,
great life you've got.
I was just, going on the internet and that, and I also look in magazines. Found a story about a bloke who, I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw. And he's
I don't know, let's go with the chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
And his arm, come off, right?
Come off? What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's like,
Again,
He's going, oh no.
Oh.
So, there's a picture of him on an exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor says, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that, a real arm, from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something, and,
they lost an arm and didn't want it back.
Yeah, I love it. Are you using that? No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Well, it's first come, first serve, really.
I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we've got a spare one.
So the doctor's going, let me put it on. He's like, well, alright then. So
Ungrateful bastard.
So he does the operation. Everything's fine. He's loving it. He's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right. Okay. If this is going to be
He's
something
loving
like,
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
right, if this is going to be, and it was a leg. Or
No.
it was a chimp's arm,
or it was the arm of a killer.
It was 2 left arms, right? I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that. I'm just.
What is? Okay.
Right. So he says, go on and do it. So he sews it on, and like I said, he's happy. He's brushing his teeth. He can have a pint in the pub. He's lifting a pint with it. All his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years. Everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
Alright, so it all goes all like gammy, and then for some
The arm
reason
starts going gammy.
it goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. One arm's normal, the other one is like past his knees. He can pull his socks up without bending over.
So is this going to be? They gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world.
No, he just said, "Oh, what am I going to do?" And the doctor said, "Oh, there's not much we can do," and left it.
Wait a minute, you can't leave it there.
That's not a story.
So, Carl,
That's not
you've got to tell us the explanation. Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story. You've got no scientific explanation as to why...
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So
Why did this arm grow? Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just why I'm...
It's rubbish again, isn't it?
Well, I thought it's an interesting story, but you should have...
It's not, and it's rubbish. It didn't happen.
To the end. There was photos.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Carl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know...
Are you sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So I'll leave that.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with the next one, because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's ironic. That wasn't even the story. He was going to tell us.
Play a record. Oh, God. Suede's new one, Obsessions, on XFM 104.9. Well, I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, that's about it, and we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying...
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what, did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it's hanging by a thread which made it look long? Within the skin.
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy.
Arms aren't very much like tights. They are very much like tights.
So the one that we didn't get round to on Educating Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, he just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial...
Did he say, why are you interested, Carl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
Well, some of the useless that's like a bit of a, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Carl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants...
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah, more than they do now.
Right.
More than they do now!
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
No. So, you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, as factories. Yeah.
To move stuff around and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh, right. God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
you couldn't move from.
If you have a lot of something, you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky?
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't
properly. Sorry, Carl, what are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't properly.
Have you started making words up?
Right. Yeah, and you Stanley Unwin, reincarnated. Demicky? Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Okay. Where is this?
Olden times. Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah. If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not sure.
It's either Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Will these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So, that's why they're heading, I'll be no buying one of them.
Okay.
Right? Oh, right.
So, what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back then, when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone and say, I'm after an elephant, and the fellow would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right, so,
this is great.
So a fella who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant and he'd get it back and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff and what we're doing and stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, oh, I got it off that fella. And he goes, oh...
All this embellishing nonsense in terms of the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, isn't it? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that. You shouldn't have bought it
from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this and I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as, like, pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino, couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way. So they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, bought a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So a time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well,
what was that? All that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants. What is it? What are they had blue eyes. What are you?
Well,
albinos have red eyes for a start.
Oh, that's it. We've run out of time.
Oh, what? I mean, what are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any good next week? Tune in and find out on XFM 104.9.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slangy match. I think they're talking of ever been in a physical fight.
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right, relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out and that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco. And they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on. And I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's a hole, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out, so it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. You're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds. Yeah. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like because you know he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there, I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that... What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were
like,
wearing winkle pickers.
like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
But so you're having a... And when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and
a little bit
headlocks?
of wrestling and shoving about and that. And it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down and his tooth hit the sink.
Right.
And it chipped and what have you. After that, like, I sort of left there and stuff. And we had to go into assembly. And there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right, so sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said you'll never take me alive, copper.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
What I mean is, we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
Well,
we
we
shouldn't
have
done.
interfered,
Well,
yeah.
we shouldn't have done because it's the same way. Like, if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about, would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the way.
Because he's right, he says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is, you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs, you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this... Because, I mean, we started, you know, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who's scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I don't
walked?
know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort
Right.
of
Well, I'll
behind-
tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, oh, forget it, we wouldn't have wings now. Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Carl's diary. You didn't explain what it was. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers like going down that street as a kid on his bike whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, that's weird. Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
It's impossible, it's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time.
not, that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah, it's
just
something
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang, or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out?
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze. We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. I mean, it's Freddie from Winchester says, of course, it was recently Valentine's Day. What's the most romantic thing that you've done for Suzanne, Carl, that you can think of?
I don't really do all that.
Sure.
Valentine's Day stuff.
It's just, the problem is, if you do it once, they expect it every year.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Christmas and stuff, innit? It's like, that's what you do now, every year.
Every day, yeah.
So I prefer to just sort of wait, you know what I mean? And you know, if I think of an idea or I know of something that she wants, I might get her something, but I might not do it on Valentine's Day. It's that thing, it's like how I've said about Pancake Tuesday. Make it Pancake Wednesday. Have it when you want. Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for someone to tell me when I can have a pancake? I'll have it today if I want one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Pancake Tuesday, no, I won't bother. I'll have trifle. So it's the same with this, you know, with Suzanne. Luckily, right, I mean, Valentine's Day and what have you, she was ill.
Luckily.
So we didn't have to go out. So I'd say, is he asking for advice?
Well, I suppose, yeah, certainly you may as well give it.
Treat them when they deserve it.
All right.
I remember once when Suzanne was ill, she had a fever, but there was no food in the house. What did you suggest to her? She was too ill.
Well, it was when we were still living in Manchester and that, and you know, we needed to get some food in for tea and stuff. And I said, come to the supermarket. She was like, no, I'm ill, you go. And I hate buying food. I just sort of get a bit blank when I'm looking at it. There's too much, isn't there? That's the problem. You go down all these aisles and there's just too much. So anyway, I said, no, come with me. She was like, oh, but I've got this fever, I'm hot and everything. So I said, well, come to the supermarket, you go on the frozen aisle, cool yourself down. And she did, and she said, you know, it made it worse, she was ill for another 3 days.
Lawrence from New York says, I was wondering how Mr. K. Pilkington would interpret this famous saying of philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. The quote is, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him.
Even if he's English?
Yeah, if a lion could speak English, so there's no language barrier, he's speaking English words and using all the correct grammar and everything, but you wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying.
Why?
Because it is from a different world. His frames of reference would be so bizarre that you wouldn't be able to get a grasp on what he was talking about, because you'd have so little in common, even if he used real words.
No, but he's talking English.
Yeah, no, but his reference points would be just so far removed. You know, they're removed slightly when, if you saw two people talking about Kierkegaard, you'd
I wouldn't understand it.
Exactly. So remove that 1 billion times to a different species with different input.
No, but it depends. If I'm talking to a lion in London Zoo,
yeah,
he'll be saying, oh, I'm fed up with being stuck in here. I'll go, yeah. It's like that. It depends what his background is. I mean, there's some people who might have lived down the road from me, but have a totally different life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that it's a lion, does it?
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to remove it even more. So now it's not just a bloke who lived a few doors away. Now it's not even a bloke. Now it's not even.
Yeah, but I'd pick something smaller, or something, you know, a worm without a mouth. I'd go definitely not.
What? Definitely not what?
I wouldn't be having a chat with it. I just think that a worm that's on the ground, what's it got to offer me? It's blind and it hasn't got a mouth. It's not going to be a good day out with it, is what I'm saying. It's not going to have that much to say to me, even if it's English. Right?
Even if it's English!
And how can you tell if a worm is English? Does it wear a very tiny bowler hat?
Oh. Star Sailor and Poor Misguided Fool. With me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
K-Man, round of applause for K-Man.
Yeah.
But no one's announced who you are.
Ricky Gervais. It's XFM 104.9.
Saturday afternoon. If you didn't know that, I don't know why I mentioned it. That was stupid, really. You must know that by now.
Well, we've got some great things coming up.
We have indeed.
We've got songs and chat and things.
We'll also, of course, be running through the white van man questions from the Sun again, but this time Carl will be answering them. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Can we do that fairly soon? Oh, there's some good questions this week.
Yeah, we will, but as I was coming in, there was like a bunch of posh lads, I think university students, trying to get in, because they're doing one of those scavenger hunts, but they have to get points for charity and do stuff, and one of theirs is get on a live radio show.
Right.
So I sort of felt sorry for them, so I said they'd come on here, just for 5 minutes.
Who are they?
Right. They're just,
are they toffs?
They are sort of like toffs, but they're trendy toffs. They're obviously...
Trendy toffs? I don't know what's that. Is that like Lady Victoria Hervey?
No, I don't mean that, no. They're both sort of like that, Will of Pop Idol.
Right.
They're like him, sort of like trendy but posh. Okay. They seem nice enough, and they do it for a cancer charity, and they just get...
They got from what is it like? They got their sponsor to do various...
Exactly. I don't know quite how it works, but they're gonna come on and because we get for coming on this live radio show, they get 17,000 points.
Right, good.
If I can put that in context, if they were to say to help deliver a baby, they only get 7,250 points.
But it's much easier.
It is. There's lots of women just
happily
dropping sprogs all over the place. You can't get on a live radio show these days for love nor money.
That's true enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
when are they coming in?
Carl
said they're going to just...
1:30. I had a word with them.
Okay, what did you make of them?
They are posh.
Really?
But they said they're going to wander about and go and see if they can deliver a baby and that, and then come back here for 1:30. And I don't know if it.
I hope they don't like leave a baby sort of half out. You know, if they've got it. You know, Push. Sorry, we're gonna have to shoot off. We've got to go and see.
We've got to play an instrument in a marching band for 8,500 points.
Well, I did say be here definitely at 1:30 because I don't want you getting in the way of the white van questions.
And the other thing is, right, they get 7,500 points for delivering a baby, but they get 9,000 points if they cut Peter Stringfellow's hair.
Well, he's very precious about his hair.
It's a more delicate operation, isn't it? There's more that can go wrong.
That's true enough.
Take an unconventional animal for a walk in a park. What is an unconventional animal? I think that could be a dog that just doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah, that's a dog that's into Slipknot.
Yeah, that wheeze in a urinal.
Yeah, exactly.
Standing up.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sure they're lovely guys. Good luck to them.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Nirvana, Man Who Sold the World. Carl's all confused, because it didn't tell you it was ended, did it? What is that then? Is that a sort of glitch and a
just applause, isn't it? They might start swearing, you know what they're like. Yeah. Rock stars.
Yeah.
Their blue language.
Yeah, and all their habits and all that. Yeah, it says track ending now.
Stop talking about it. That's you're giving away all the secrets of radio and that. People think it's like an old piece of vinyl that we've put on a needle, you know, like those old bits of footage of Tony Blackburn. That's what they think it's like. They don't realise there's computers doing it all. Yeah. Rick, you're showing them behind the curtain. Never do that.
I won't.
Never do that, mate.
In the week, I called Carl up. Said, how are you, mate? He went, not too bad. Now, as you know, his girlfriend's been away for ages, hasn't she? Covering the World Cup, the African Nations Cup. She's a sports journalist.
Well, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I love the fact you're thinking. What does that mean? Like, well, she's not much of a journalist, Rick. To be honest, I've read some of her stuff.
No, but she's not on air. She does stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of journalists do. You always want to make clear that you're not going out with Kate Adie. That's what you want to make clear, isn't it? Yeah. Now. So she'd seen none of the meteoric rise of Carl as a broadcaster.
She's been away for the whole time.
A raconteur, a wit, a cult figure, to be honest. And he hadn't told her this. So apparently he went home and she was sitting there, because a bit grumpy. He went, all right, so yeah. She went, should we go out then? She went, I'm not sure I want to go out with an idiot. Right?
Oh no!
Yeah, and she went, Loch Ness Monster. Won't you just think? Of course the Loch Ness Monster lives in Loch Ness. And she was giving a bit of a hard time. She went, that's why he said, that's why I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her really. Same thing happened when I was at school and I had to play drums in Little Donkey. I didn't tell my parents, right? But my dad turned up anyway. And what happened?
He,
How old were you, Carl?
Well, it was the school that I used to go to.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you went. Well, you used to go to the school you used to go to.
No, but what I mean is, I didn't go to secondary, did I? So I missed a lot of that.
Sure.
But primary, I liked.
Oh,
it was all colouring in and stuff.
Yep.
And it was a Christmas play, and I managed to get a part in it. And,
did you audition?
No. Got a part in it, and I should have been playing the drums to the one about Kings. We
Three Kings.
Yeah. I was meant to be doing that, but Little Donkey came on, and it was one of the.
What do you mean came on?
That was like next up on you know the next song.
Right.
And it's one of them songs that you can't help sort of
tapping along to.
Yeah. Do you know like if I was to go
Yeah, you'd have to finish it with.
Yeah. Do you know that they actually send that into space?
Do they?
And
what, hoping that aliens will respond with that?
Yeah. They do that because apparently it is one of them things that you can't help.
What, even if you're an alien life form?
Yeah.
They know that, do they?
Yeah. But anyway.
What, because they watch Star Trek or something?
Hello. Knock, knock.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Is it true, like, if you send out knock, knock into space, they have to say...
Oggy, oggy, oggy. Oh, that is great.
Seriously.
Oh, hold on, what's something out there? It was a little green fellow. That is great.
Yeah. So anyway,
that is
Little Donkey is like one of them tunes that you can't. And I was there, and I had the drumstick, and I thought, oh god.
The drumstick.
I could feel myself. And anyway,
just wanting to do it, yeah.
I started going along and playing Little Donkey, which I wasn't meant to do, but it went down such a storm.
What, were there people like parents and that dozing off, and then suddenly they heard your version of Little Donkey, and they thought, wait a minute, now it's really picking up.
What do you mean?
I'm glad we paid £1.50 for this.
What do you mean it went down such a storm? They're going, hold on, was it like when
people have
Ringo
microphones in the air?
You know, like when Ringo joined the Beatles, now going, boo, Pete Best, but he went,
yeah, they went,
whoa! Oh, God.
No, but the teacher just said, oh, it went down really well, you can do that again tonight.
Right.
When you're in it again. But anyway, so my dad was there, And
you hadn't told him about this performance, so he just turned up off his own back.
I never took the letters home and stuff to show my mum and dad because it just put me off. So, anyway, he turned up, don't know why, he must have heard from someone else's dad.
Yeah.
He turned up, and, he swore about me, which...
Did he?
I don't...
Could you use a word
that's allowed to be said? The word?
Of course it is.
Right. If you got a kid in the car or anything, you can turn it down now. Right? But he said, there was a guy stood next to him with a camera, big video camera filming it. And he said, yeah, film it, but try and avoid getting the twat in the hat in the shot. Because I had one of those porters, you know, the little round pork pie hats on.
Right.
This is so sad.
What, was this a nativity play?
It was about Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a porter there helping him with his bags.
Of course it was, I forgot.
I mean, Mary and Joseph, they got there. Yeah, because it was the whole, you know, because the inn was full. Yes. But I think the porter doubled up with the inn and the stable.
Right, that was nice.
So
he carried bags over, yeah.
Yeah, no, so yeah.
You're right though, I don't know why I was wearing one of them. But I was. And
your father said that, and how did you know your father said that? Did you hear
about it later?
Oh, he told you about it later?
Yeah, I was talking about stuff I'd done at school, and he said, oh God, remember that, and I spoke to him the other day about it.
Right.
And, yeah.
Oh God. So that was the end of your sort of drumming career, really? Because it could have been, I mean, you know, the audience loved it the night before.
Yeah.
You could have, like, been, who knows, a whole new world for you.
Yeah,
have you done any stuff?
I've never drummed. I wish I had, man.
That's
a movie story, but...
and that's why you don't tell, your mum and dad don't know you on the radio, do they?
Think, when they were down the other weekend, they had to come in here, I just said, I'll just go in and press the buttons.
Because they could listen on Sky Digital, couldn't they?
They could do.
But you wouldn't want that, would you?
I don't want that.
No. Play a record, and I want to talk to you again a little bit about this later.
Yeah.
Right.